Hey, good afternoon, everybody. As promised, this is just a quick little course breakdown video, just helping you navigate through our course. So I'm going to start with the nav bar. Okay, so starting across the top, you'll notice that if I go to course home, it just leads us to our home page, which you can see I'm going to try to post. Um, I'm thinking once a week, but that might change. But for this week, you can see I recorded a quick little video introducing myself and talked about a few things you should have been doing. Okay, and all that is, I'm not going to reiterate what I said in the first video. Now, this video again is just to navigate through the course itself. So now, content. This is where you'll find the content of the course. Right now, all you should be able to see is the e-learning orientation. If you've completed the quiz, you then should be able to see course introduction and the unit review. Okay, Unit 1 is not opened yet. I'm aiming for Monday. It might be open sooner. Okay, so as you navigate through the course, so let's just backtrack a little bit here. Let's take a look at the course syllabus. And you can read through a lot of this. Okay, my contact information is there as well. This is the best way to reach me, not the D2L email, although I will still respond to it, but sometimes I forget to respond to D2L emails. This is the quickest way to reach me. Okay, so things about the course, yada yada. I know you guys worry about this the most. The course breakdown. There are 5 tests, 5% each, for a total of 25% of the course. There are something called checkpoints, which are essentially assignments, just to see how you're progressing. Okay, 15 of them, 2% each, 30% of the course. Quizzes and discussions is about 30 of them, about 0.5% each. Okay, and that makes up 70% of the course. The culminating, which is 30% of the final your mark, your 30% of your final mark. 10% of that comes from Delta Math. 10% of that comes from a culminating portfolio. 10% comes from the final exam. Okay, and I will address all 3 of those things as we progress through the video. Okay, so if I click discussions right now, you shouldn't see a whole lot besides the introduction one. Let me just switch to student, just so I can make sure I see what you see. Okay, so right now this is all you should see: introductions, online math resources, quizzes. You should only see orientation quiz. Dropbox, you should see nothing. Grades. So here again is the breakdown. So this follows the same breakdown as earlier. Unit 1 is worth a total of 11.5%, okay? Which is the rough total if you were to add all these up. So test 1, as you saw earlier, was worth 5%. Checkpoints are worth 2. There's a checkpoint there. There's a checkpoint there. These will be submitted via Dropbox, okay? And then we'll talk about that when we get there. You've got the quiz. Discussions, each worth 0.5%, which adds up for a total of 11.5. Okay, and Unit 2 you can see is worth 12.5%. Unit 3 is worth 14.5. Unit 4 is worth 15.5. Unit 5 is worth 16%, and then finally the culminating 30% at the end there. Okay. Where were we? Grades. Okay, now Delta Math. So if you click that, which I'm not going to because I already have it opened. But if you click Delta Math, if you haven't already signed up, it's going to open up a screen for you to sign up or sign in. Okay? You know what? I'll click it. This is what you should see. This confirms you're in the right course, so you don't need to change the code. Just leave that. And then here, sign in or sign as through your email account. Okay? Let's close that. Now, since we're here, let's talk about Delta Math. So Delta Math, when you open it up, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see an assignment assigned to you, okay? And in that assignment, let me just go back. Okay, so in our case, it's called Introduction to Polynomial Functions. Okay, I'm going to click that. Okay, and then, so you are going to have a series of activities to complete. So for those of you unfamiliar with Delta Math, it is possible for you to get 100% all the way across. It's not like a quiz or a test. So as I click it, if I get it wrong, okay, it's wrong. Perfect. So if it's wrong, okay, it will show you how to solve it, okay, which then allows you to try it again until you get 100%. Okay, so it's an easy way to earn 10% in the course. As the semester goes, I'm going to be adding more for a total of 5 Delta Math tasks by the end of the course. Course calendar, if you click that, it shows you the pacing of the course. Okay, so you can see here orientation for the first full week, and then activity 1A starting on Monday. Now this is asynchronous, so meaning that if you don't get to this lesson on Monday, you end up doing 2 lessons on Tuesday, that's fine. Okay, just make sure that you don't fall behind, because you can see there is a lot in the course, and because we're online, snow days do not affect us. Okay, that's that, and I think that's about it. Oh, how to approach the course itself. So once course introduction. Okay, so once things are open, so we're going to start with obviously activity 1A. Okay, so activity 1A, if you look at our calendar, is Monday. Characteristics of function, and here it is. You can go through characteristics of functions, and all the required tasks will be in there. Make sure you read through it. Okay, as you're reading through it, you blah 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 blah, read, learn. Okay, you got some practice questions, and then you have activities to complete. Now, before I get there, let's backtrack a little bit here. So, let me open up the grades feature again. Second here, it's loading. Okay, so remember the culminating portfolio? It's ongoing, it's worth 10%. This is just a way for you to keep track of your work. So, what do I mean by that? Oh, I spelled that so wrong, but I'll fix that later. Okay, so go to Dropbox, and you will see, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, now, you don't see this yet. Again, I'll make this available soon. There will be a Dropbox submission called Culminating Portfolio Submissions. Okay. And what is this? So as you're going through the lessons, I'm assuming most of you will be taking notes either on the computer or on paper. Okay. As you do so through this activity, and you do go through the practice questions, because like these practice questions here, I'm not checking them, okay, because the answers are all there for you. Okay. As you're doing the practice questions on paper, okay, you're going to, either on paper or on Google Docs, whatever you choose, okay, you're going to write them down somewhere else as you're practicing. Now, when you do that, and at the end of the lesson, so before you, I guess, tackle the checkpoint, take a picture of it, screenshot, whatever, go to the Dropbox and simply submit it, okay? Make sure, though, that it's titled. So here's just a quick little example that I whipped up. Loading. So slow, come on. Okay, so for example, activity 1A, characteristics of polynomial functions. I got some messy notes down, okay, but there are still notes there. Here's the date, okay, and then it just shows that you are actively learning, okay, and not just blindly jumping into quizzes or tests. And then when you submit that on the Dropbox, so let me just go back there for a second, submit it in this Dropbox, by the end of the course, or throughout the course, I'll check this sporadically. This is how I'm going to mark it. So if you're aiming for 100%, make sure everything's titled, labeled, notes are clean. You can see this rubric as well, okay? Underline, easy for me to find. The contents, they're detailed and comprehensive. It's evident you've gone through the stuff as opposed to just copy paste. Practice questions, I can see the practice questions. And the submission format, it's easy to use because, easy to see, easy for me to see. So you can see it's out of 16 marks, 4 marks each. So what I mean by that is each submission is labeled properly. So for some of you, what students have done in the past is they've had a running Google Doc and they just kept on adding to that. Okay, so it's one link for me to just click and I can see it all in Google Doc. That works. For other students who want to do it on paper, that's fine. But then you can imagine that by the end of the course, there's a lot of submissions in that Dropbox, which is fine, as long as it's labeled. So if I see lesson 1A, then it's easy for me to check lesson 1A. Like it's labeled as lesson 1A. Okay, so it says lesson 1A or something like that, as opposed to random numbers. It doesn't have a name, so I don't really know what lesson it is. Okay, so that will be worth a part of your mark as well. Okay, and oh wait, let's go back to the content. Okay, so yeah, so once you're here and you've submitted that, so it's ongoing, so get used to that habit. Okay. And then you can see here, checkpoint, complete the following before moving on. So Delta Math, I'm going to fix this. All you need to do is just go to Delta Math. You don't need to read all this, okay? All that's already in there. Complete this practice, okay? No need to submit. This will just go again under the same Dropbox, okay? Again, I'll edit that to make that clear as well. Okay, and that'll be it for lesson 1. And then you just go through each lesson. It would be very clear. Again, if you have any questions as we go through it, feel free to send me an email, okay? It might take you guys some time to kind of get used to it. But by the end of the course, by the end of the first week, second week technically, you should feel fairly comfortable navigating through the course. Now, here's something else as well. If I click activity 1, 2, you'll see that there are 2 videos here attached with some handouts, okay? These are a quick summary of activities 1 and 2. Okay, so let me just hit the handout and you'll see. So it goes through a lot of the activity 1 stuff with a video. Okay, this is acts as additional practice as well, in addition to what's already here. Okay, all right. Any questions? Again, shoot me an email, jtram@scudsby.on.ca, and all that could be found right here. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.